Hello everybody. I modeled this retro sci-fi computer about 5 years ago, and I want to do it again for you, this time with a reference image that I'll provide, and just check out the link in the description. And yeah, I'm going to also provide the model for this when you're done for free. So yeah, I brought the reference image in and I scaled it probably 4 or 5 times, and it's just there. Brought it back all the way a little bit, and we are ready to go with modeling this thing. So I'm going to start by bringing in a plane. You could use a cube if you wanted to. I'm going to rotate X 90 and scale it up, and then just come into edit mode and start sort of shaping it to get the overall dimensions of this case part of the device. So I'll grab that and I'll pull it down to here, and we'll vary a little bit from the from the reference image. I'm going to extrude backwards and give this some thickness, something like that. Okay, I want to put this indented line here, so I'm going to press Control R and drag an edge loop up to somewhere near the front, something like that. Press 2 for edge selection and Control B to bevel and pull. Just roll your mouse back so you just have 2 edges going around, something like that. E, Alt S, and push, I guess in this case, to get it to come in, depending on which direction. Let's double check that this isn't flipped, and it is red. So Alt N, recalculate outside. So we're good to go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and put on a bevel here and put this at about 0.02 maybe to start with. Okay, select that front face, press 1 to look from the front, go into wireframe, and I'm going to turn the bevel off for the moment. I'm going to press I to inset and pull in to about, let's see, is that good there? Maybe to about there. And now I'm going to extrude back a little ways like that. Let's put that bevel back on. Let's make that 0.01 actually. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. We just want to change this back a little bit less intense. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, so now I want to make this part here that angles out. And so to do that, I think I'm going to take this piece and just duplicate it, pull it out, P to break it out, select it, look from the front, go into wireframe, and let's see, let's just scale that down, get it to touch the edges here. 1 for vertex selection, select those, pull it down to here, and select the bottom vertices, and just border selecting, bring it to there. A to select it all. So we're all set. We're going to use inset again. I to inset, pull in until about there. Okay, we're going to X, delete that face. Okay. 3 for face selection, select that face. We can look from the side, number 3. And I'm just going to pull that forward to give this a bit of an angle like that. Let's press E to extrude, pull back, and then straighten this out by SY0, like that. And let's go get rid of those faces right now, pull that in, and I'm going to want it to go back in behind that, but stick out a little ways. So let's see that we're making contact, and we see that. And that's not bad as it is. Let's turn off the shadow for the moment. So we've got that in there. Right, so the next thing I'm going to want to do is this monitor section here. So my 3D cursor happens to be right there. I'm just going to bring in a plane, rotate X 90, and I'm going to again trace the outline of this, or get it to fit anyhow. I want it to be pretty snug on the bottom, and let's just grab those. out to there or so. Grab these out to here or so. Okay, we can select it all now. Press I to inset yet again and do that. And I can get rid of that. And take this piece here. I'm going to extrude back a ways. X faces. Let's go back into solid. So we got rid of the back faces there. And let's go back in. You may not be able to see it very well, but there's another little level to this. So to do that, I'm going to come in here, drop an edge loop, Control R, just pull it a little bit closer to the front. 3 for face selection and Shift Alt and click there. And I'm going to press E and Alt S, and I'm going to pull, I guess, to bring it out. I'm just doing it by eye for now. Okay, let's focus on that piece and see. Okay, let's go into edit mode and recalculate if need be. For this one, I'm going to bevel by hand. Shift Alt and click that edge. This one. Shift Alt and click that one, and Shift Alt and click that one, and give it a little bit of a bevel. I don't really need to look at the diagram. There's 2, 3, something like that to curve it, and then Shift Alt and click all of these straight edges here going around, and we'll give them a little bevel. Control B, and I've got 3 in there in total. 1, 2, 3, and also right in here we'll do this one as well. So we bevel like that, slash key, and let's take that now and pull it back in so it just fits in there, just a little bit underneath that. Okay, I'm actually going to turn the shadow back on, just makes it a little easier to see. And I'm going to select that whole thing and Shift S, cursor to select it to bring my 3D cursor there. And I'll bring in, actually let me see, yeah, that's embedded, that's good. I'm going to bring in another plane, rotate X 90, and then get this to fit inside. I'll go around to maybe the middle of this, the middle on each sort of side. There, take that and go to about there. So I've got that. So now I'm going to right click and choose subdivide, and I'll subdivide. There's 2, 3, 4, 5. So I get this center point right there. I'm going to select that, turn on proportional editing, and I'm going to pull out in the Y, and I can use my mouse. I can roll it up or down to change the size of the circle, and I just want it small enough so I can get just a nice curve on there and shade smooth. And then I'll take this and I'm going to push it back. I'll turn that off, push it back a little bit, and I've got a bit of a rounded screen in there. I might turn it back on and do a bit more, you know, that kind of a thing. I just want a little bit of that border to show. So I've got my screen in there. Okay, so far so good. Now the next thing is I'm going to need these dividing lines to figure out where things are going to go. As you can see here, I've got some knobs, I've got these cartridges, there's one up there, and I've got these floppy disk drives, and I've got dividers in between. So, you know, it's easier when we've got the reference image. Let's go into wireframe to do this. So my 3D cursor's there. That's fine. Let's just bring in a plane and make sure that's off. Let's rotate X 90, and let's scale in the X and just move it over on top of one of these and try to get it similar. Okay, I want it to project into the top a little bit and into the bottom. So we've got this. It's going to come out close to the edge, not quite at the edge. I'm going to extrude backwards now until it hits that back plane. Get rid of that face, and we can come in here and select and get rid of those faces, or that face and that face. So we've got that. Let's take this and Control L, copy modifiers to put that bevel on there. So we have a divider there. And I think I need it a little thicker, so I'm going to SX, hold shift and just make it a bit bigger. Okay, now I'm going to Shift D to duplicate, pull one over to here, GX, Shift D, pull one over to here, GX, and this is what we have so far. Okay, make sure those are making contact. I think it looks okay. The only thing is I might want this screen to go back a little bit behind. I mean, let me try that and see if I like that. Just a little bit, so we see a little bit of that edge. I think everything's still okay there. All right. Let's do the little dials there. I'll leave my 3D cursor there, Shift A, mesh circle, and I'm going to go for 18 vertices. For that, go into edit mode, rotate X 90, start scaling, but I'll bring it out in front. One for front view, and scale it, and G, pull it over, and just put it on top of one of those knobs. That's pretty good size right there, really. Okay, so to build the knob, I'm just going to press E to extrude, pull out a ways, E and S, pull in a ways, like that. E, come out, and just F to make a face. 3 for face selection, and I'll bevel this, Control B, I'm holding Shift, and I have 3 edges going around in there. And then I'll press 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click there, Shift Alt and click there, Control B, just like that, and shade smooth. Let's take that and push it on so it makes contact back there. Okay, let's just look at that. Okay, good. So go into edit mode and select it, and Shift D to duplicate and just drag it over to here. A to select both of them, and I think I'll just copy them. Shift D to duplicate, pull them down to here. You could use an array, but I'm just going to do it this way, nice and quick. There, Shift D, and there. Okay, so we have that. Let's save once in a while. Okay, let's move over to the floppy disks. And to do the floppy disks, I think what I'll do is we'll just bring in another plane, rotate X 90, slide that over here, go into wireframe, and yeah, we're going to take, let's say, this edge, bring it over to here, and that's not bad to start. Maybe I'll just drag this, just do it kind of right underneath this thing here, and I'm going to drop an edge loop and just slide it up to about there, and I'll drag an edge loop to here. We can try to use this piece, so I'm going to get rid of that one. This one I'm going to I think I'll just I'll just leave that there, but I'm going to break it out. P to break it out, and that'll leave me with that piece, and I'm going to pull that out and just look at it again. It looks pretty good. Maybe just take these and pull them in ever so slightly, and these ones here. All right, that's probably okay. Okay, so to make this, I'm going to drop an edge loop here and just put it, let's say we put it right in the middle. And we may be off the diagram a little bit, so maybe we can touch this up by pulling this down a little bit to there. And then I'll do that again, and I'll drop an edge. It's pretty much in the middle here. So now we can go Control B and hold Shift and pull, but roll back so there's only just a space in there. And that's going to be the space where you put the floppy disk in. Okay, let's get rid of that. Control R there, Control B, split it so we have that. And let's actually, if I look at it here, I'm going to need edges. So I'm going to drop an edge loop there. Let's press 2 for edge selection. Drop an edge loop there, Shift Alt and click both of them, and then SX, and just pull to near the end, because I'm going to use this space here, not that little space, to get rid of that and push it back. So I want a little buffer area. So drop an edge loop there and there. Shift Alt and click both of them. Scale in the Z and pull it up so it's kind of the same width as this and this. All right. Select this, and X faces. Get rid of them. So this is what I'll have so far. That's the beginning of it. Okay. 2 for edge selection. Shift Alt and click these edges here. So we get them, all of those. And I'm going to extrude those back. You do extrude, pull them back. And let's just focus on that for the moment so you start to see what we're getting here. Okay, good. All right, so now let's just take that and shift click on that and slash key. So we focus just on both of those. Take that, press the period key, look from the front. So we're just looking at this right now. Okay, so it's lining up pretty good. Okay, the next thing I want to do is come in here and in edge selection, select this edge, hold shift and select that, zoom out a bit, and then press SZ and start pulling these down until they don't quite hit this down here. And that's probably okay for what we're going to do. Slash key. Let's see what this bevel looks like on it in just a minute. 2 for edge selection, Shift Alt and click all the outside edges there. And extrude back. Doesn't have to be exactly the same distance as this, just extrude it back a ways. Okay, let's take that and hold shift and select that and Control L, copy modifiers, and that's all right for now. We'll shade smooth later. Okay, so that is going to fit in here. Hopefully it will fit just a little bit past the borders there. That thing a little deeper with respect to that one, as you can see there. And now we need a couple of buttons and stuff. So why don't we take this, Shift D, scale, look from the front in wireframe, we'll scale it down and slide it over like that. And maybe what we'll do is we'll pull it out, GY, and maybe we'll break it out. P to break it out. I'm going to extrude back a ways, X faces, and let's take that and let's put a little smaller bevel on that one, 0.5, and we'll push that on. Let's look in wireframe. Let's take that and make sure it's all selected. Shift D to duplicate. We'll slide it over to here and we'll push it in a little bit. So we've got those. And right away what I'll do is I'll take all this stuff and we'll make a new collection. I'm going to call this Drive 1. So we've got that. I'll put everything else into collections later on. And we'll continue with a few other things. We've got this little indentation here, and maybe what we'll do for this is we'll select this face, go back in the wireframe, and we will press, I guess we'll press I to inset and get sort of the thickness of it roughly, and then we'll scale in the X like that, and then I'm just going to pull it over or slide it over, and then we'll just E to extrude and push it in a little ways like that. Next thing we want is a little power light on there. So my 3D cursor is way over there, but that's okay. And the way I did it in the video 5 years ago is I used a cube, and I think I'll try that again for you. I'll bring that roughly in there, and then press Control 1. Let's set the origin to the geometry. Control 1, and we'll apply that. Look from the side, go into edit mode and wireframe and 1, and delete these back vertices. I didn't delete them, did I? Delete those back vertices. So I have this. And I'm going to press Control 1 again, and I'll apply that and shade smooth. and that's what I'll use. Not too many polys, but it gives it a relatively nice shape. And let's see where we're at. Okay, I need it smaller and move it over here. Period key to zoom in on that. Just make sure it makes contact. And make sure that's in the drive 1. So I have everything. Yes. All right, cool. Okay, let's double check our face orientation. Select everything and Alt-N, recalculate outside. The only thing is the plane. Alt-N and just flip. All right, we're in good shape. We need the little switches on here, and so the way I'll do that is maybe we'll grab one of these circles, take this one here, Shift D to duplicate and pull it over, and GY, make sure it's out in front. There we go. Bring that up, go into wireframe, and let's break it out, make sure it's a separate thing, scale it a bit. So we have that piece there. And maybe we'll take like, let's take the whole thing, Shift D to duplicate, pull it out, scale it down, and just get a position that we like. And then I'm going to select these back vertices, get rid of them, take this, E to extrude, pull it in, F to make a face, select everything and F to make a face. So we have these two structures here. We'll just go ahead and work with those. Let's do the slash key to focus on that. Go back into edit mode. We'll extrude. Let's extrude back in the Y. X faces, get rid of that. Let's just merge by distance just in case. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this face and I'm going to pull it under a little bit. So we have that. Okay, now I'm going to come in here and select this, and I'm going to bevel it back. I'll give it a nice bevel. Well, just 3 is okay. Select this face, and I may pull it back in a bit more. Bevel that. And make sure it's facing the right way. Slash key. And I'm just going to bring it back until it pretty much makes contact like that. That's okay like that. Let me just double check that it's roughly, it's roughly where I need it to be, and make sure that's in the drive collection. Okay, I just want to look at this and think about possibly moving this a little bit. Let's see a little bit of a shadow in there. Okay, so let's try taking this drive. Let's select it, look from the front, and let's actually set the origin to geometry. Shift D to duplicate it, pull it down. GZ to sort of line it up with a little bit of a space in between. And then before deselecting, new collection, drive 2. So you have both of those in there. We'll save. And then this piece here, just to bring it out a little bit more. I think I'll take this one and extrude it back. We have a little bit of a lip there. And I don't seem to have any bevel on it, so maybe I'll copy modifiers to have that. I just want to double check this. We can get rid of the back face. Just like that. And let's see what we need here. We need something in there, so maybe what we can do is take this and drop an edge loop, another one roughly there, and another one roughly there, and then we can take that face and just extrude it back in like that to create that. And we could even take this and Shift D to duplicate, pull it out, scale in the Z, scale it in the X, and just kind of make this button here. Let's see, let's pull it out In fact, let's break it out. Take it and extrude it back, get rid of the back face, take it and push it on like that. Does it look kind of like it? Kind of. All right, and I don't know what this thing is called. I'm going to call it panel or drive panel, just so it's similar. Okay, drive 1, drive 2, drive panel. Now in behind this we still have the plane for that, and so what I think I may do is take that's still attached. I think I'm going to take this piece here and break it out so it's a separate piece, so I can come in and I can drop an edge loop here, and I can come over here, drop an edge loop right underneath the border part, drop an edge loop up there, and an edge loop down here. You know, if we just want to delete that and have it open or dark in behind there. This is what we have so far, and I think that's a good place to take a break, and when we come back we will do the rest of these things, which we need some cartridges in there, touch it up any way we need to, shade smooth, get everything organized into collections, and yeah, that'll be that. So the reference will be posted for you if you want to follow along with me and get to this point, and then carry on with me for the next part. When the model's all done, I'm going to make it available to you for free. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.